The following game has been rated T for teen by the ESRB for fantasy violence, mild language, and drug references. That means anyone under the age of 13 should not be watching this video. You have been warned.
Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we're returning back to Starpoint Gemini Warlords. So the premise of the Starpoint Gemini series is that you play as starship captain doing starship things, and if you play in the storyline of, well, this particular game, you are a starship captain, belong to an organization known as the Solari Concord. Now, as I said before, the Starpoint Gemini series is a game where you play as a starship captain doing starship things. Starpoint Gemini Warlords is slightly different from every other game in the series to date. Not because you don't command a starship, you still do that. But in addition to just commanding your starship, you're also able to build and maintain fleets of AI-controlled vessels, which can either do your bidding in assistance to you, or as proxy for you. You don't actually have to show up to a battle to have your AI forces engage an enemy force, and hopefully, if the number's right and the random number gods are generous, win. So that's the game premise in a nutshell. If you haven't seen any of the prior episodes, the last couple of episodes had us tracking down a large pile of resources so that way we can research a very large, very powerful, ethically questionable super capital weapon. Well, I'll get to that in a quick second. And the reason why I call in its questionable ethics is because its sole main and primary job is to assault planets. And you don't really need a weapons platform that large and that capable to actually level an entire planet for the name of peace. Now, technically, we are building it not to conquer everybody, but essentially, I don't know if it's to defend ourselves, our allies, or just simply for parody purposes, but throughout the game we've been tracking down and fighting a pirate faction, government, remnant, what have you, known as the... Okay, I gotta be honest, I forget exactly what the name of the pirate remnant is, but they've basically been attacking us, We've been attacking them. We think we've gotten the upper hand, but it turns out we've just fallen into one of their carefully laid traps, and they walk off with something else of ours. And one of those things that they've walked off with was the plans for the Proxima, which is the name of the supermassive, questionably ethical super capital weapon. And so our head of R&D, once realizing that they too are building a Proxima-class vessel, decides that we need one of our own. And while he technically works for us, he has tasked us with gathering the resources to research all the parts. I've gathered all the resources, I've researched all the parts, and now, rather than instantaneously having this thing ready to go and / or watching it be built, I now have to upgrade to a larger vessel, of which I do not have the funds to buy. Yes, that was the plan. As they say with all plans, they never survive the initiation phase. And as such, while I had planned on playing this game in between episodes, basically between last episode and now, hopefully to get enough funds to actually purchase the Dreadnought, I did not. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today, and if we can get enough funds and / or acquire a Dreadnought through other means, I believe the colloquial term is, I may be pronouncing that correctly, I don't know, don't much care. Anyway, the colloquial term is five-finger discount. Essentially, I steal somebody else's Dreadnought, which, while it's possible through boarding action, that's how I got my, it's with either the cruiser or the destroyer, I can't remember which, but that's how I got my primary cruiser. It's a way to get a Dreadnought. Not exactly easy, especially if you're fielding a smaller vessel, but still possible. So that's still on the table, and it's basically just run around, gather funds. Or steal somebody else's ship, one of the two. Whichever happens first, or both. Could go either way. But we'll find out as the episode goes, and as such, this game is of course made by... Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin.
Okay, so here we are. This is our ship. This is us. This is the battleship that I've been running around in for God knows how long. It is technically the smallest ship in the fleet because... Actually, where is the fleet? Where am I for the most part, actually? Oh yeah, that's right, I'm over here.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
So it begs the question, where did my fleet go? Because they should have technically been following me. Okay, so that's the Proxima. Oh, there they are. They're still in transit. You know, I could attack this station. It is an Allied territory, yes, but it's not an Allied station. So in theory, I could technically fight it and make it, well, my own. Of course, this is also the part where somebody decides to attack one of my holdings. I did kind of basically take everything from this organization. All they have left is their planet, but it's surrounded by an asteroid field, so they should have the ore to make everything that they need to build more ships, but ships largely require materials which can't be produced in this game outside of stripping down large, basically graveyards of older destroyed vessels. Although they do have a plant, so for all I know, they're able to actually maintain the manufacturing facilities to turn ore found in space into materials which are then used to build other things. But that's another issue for another time, so if they decide to come in and attack anywhere, I'll know about it. The other option is that Sentchuk, the people I've been trying to, or at least planning on assaulting time and time again, launch something, because they're technically at war with the Maganot barony, even though they used to be friends. And they're still enemies of both of us and them, because the enemy of my enemy, well, the enemy of my friend is my enemy. Even though we're up in Sora Barney. So, yeah, there's that. Oh, look, there's actually an enemy fleet here now. Of one Corvette. So I have absolutely no idea where the facility is that controls this place. Of course, last time I was here, I did have to fight a massive enemy fleet. That might be what's controlling it. So, as I said, I need money. Lots and lots of money. I don't think Sora has a shipyard. I believe that's why I actually traveled there, to see if they had a dreadnought for sale.
Affirmative. Engage.
So anyway, let's meet our friends. On the plus side, I can just simply sit around and do nothing, and eventually I'll gain a small trickle of credits. So this is our fleet. It contains all of our friends, or at least those that I haven't managed to kill yet. They're mostly carriers. There are a few War Masters, if I can find one. And a War Master is a more advanced NPC vessel that has their own leveling scheme, abilities, and traits and techniques and skills. Basically, they're essentially playable characters, just not played by a person. So this is one of them. This is Leonard Maxton. He's piloting a dreadnought, the class of ship, or at least the size of ship, I eventually hope to get. This is another one, Nika. She's also piloting another dreadnought. And then there is... that's just a standard AI carrier. Come on. I think she's out of range.
Initiating sublight.
There she is. Tara Higgs. Unlike the other War Masters, which are flying dreadnoughts, she jumps straight from a battleship to a carrier. Not quite certain why. Don't really much care. But she's in a carrier, and end of day, that's all that matters.
Initiating sublight.
So, we need money. Because dropships require money, and I'm not talking about dropships. Weird thing going on right here. A whole bunch of enemy fleets still about. But as I was saying, need coin to purchase a bigger ship, and bigger ships do not come cheap. 7.6 million credits is what I technically have. Is not enough. I need like 3 times the amount of that just to consider buying a cheaper dreadnought. Why are you falling even further behind?
Captain, the bounty listing indicates that these ships are the lackeys of a known wanted outlaw.
Oh goody. Which ships? Alright, launch fighters.
I hope your cargo hold has room for my missiles.
Cargo hold? No. But if you want, I can give you some of mine.
Turrets on your ship.
Alright, so... my shields are going down. Oh look! A battleship.
What's your problem, Kurt?
Everybody's shooting at me, next question.
You're all dead.
course, to be fair, their entire fleet is comprised mostly of corvettes and gunships, which are on the smaller side. Of course, you know, enough pebbles will take out a boulder, so let's beef up the shields. Shoot this destroyer. And all that's left is the battleship, I think. Let's deploy troops.
If you had any brains in that head of yours, you wouldn't have done that.
Break through the hull, hit the cargo bay. Then we run past the engine room.
Starboard shield is at half capacity.
Beef up our, well, heal our people at the med bay. Go through the shield generator. For some reason, I feel the need to actually try to take the ship, even though. For some reason, I feel the need to actually take the ship, even though I don't technically need it. So let's just move past through to the through the weapons room to the bridge, where I have an 18% chance of taking it. So I don't think this is going to work, and it did actually work. Well, that's surprising. So one thing that I can do is, so this is our first officer, and whenever I take a ship through a boarding action, I can do one of several options. And she asks, "Sir, what do you want to do with the captured ship?" So I can salvage it for parts, which gets me a whole pile of materials. I can put it in my garage and spend 1.8 million credits to repair it, which essentially turns it into a ship I can personally fly. I can sell it and transfer the credits to my account, so I can basically earn 3.7 million just off of this ship alone. I can send the hull to headquarters to allow research, which basically takes the ship apart, but it allows the people at Concordia, the starbase we technically operate out of, to understand how it's built and the ability to build more. Or, if I had the spare materials, which because this is grayed out, I don't believe I actually do. Actually, I do have the spare materials, but a battleship is considered a super capital ship, I believe. And I can only field so many of those, and all my super capital ship points are allotted to carriers, so that's why this is actually grayed out. But if I had the slot available and I had the materials, which I technically do, I can have them take it to headquarters, and at the cost of the materials, turn it into an AI-controlled vessel. So much as I would enjoy this type of battleship, because for some reason I like collecting ships, I don't actually need this vessel, and it'll cost me a whole pile of credits, which is gaining credits in the opposite direction, which I actually need. However, what I also do enjoy doing is having the captured vessels that I take research, so that way I can build more. And that's what I'm going to do. So it looks like that if I just research this, all I need to do is just research one vessel and I can build more. So I'm going to do that. I think originally, at least with the larger vessels, it took several captured vessels in order to get that status up to 100%. I don't know if it's because of the difficulty setting that I'm currently on, or
Scavenging the debris has revealed traces of elements tied to a particular location. We're set to proceed.
Okay, so the bounty that fleet was tied to is right here. And if I kill this person, Sonia Graves, I can net an easy 1.6 million. I say that's easy, but the people you hunt for these wanted bounties are in some of the most deadly ships in the game, at least near as I can tell. But anyway, so let's attack here.
Initiating sublight.
Now that my friends have finally caught up. Shields recharge yet? Yeah, sort of. Starboard shields practically toast, but if I keep everything on port and bow side, it should be fine. Of course, that also requires that I wait for my friends, so let's cloak. That's the wrong button. Also the wrong button, so let's cloak. So let's cloak. And my fleet has arrived. So let's once again launch fighters.
As soon as ready.
Set the turrets to auto. And we're completing a war against shipping.
Hostile target
because no matter where we jump out, there's always cargo ships in between us and whoever we're trying to find. Because that makes perfect sense. Anyway, let's get moving. Come on. There. That destroyer is now dead.
Enemy down.
As is that destroyer. See, this is why having friends is helpful. They kill all the, well, everybody who would normally be fighting us. Might.
Target destroyed.
Alright, so that takes care of the fleet in question. All that's left is the external gun platforms, shield platforms. And as usual, the camera doesn't track those. Well, these things the way that they do other ships. For some reason, the ship always wants to target the shield generator. The shield generator doesn't fire back, and I think it's only useful for stopping heavy weapons, because as you just saw, it can easily shoot through the thing. It can even fly through the shield, too. To this day, I still have absolutely no idea why the shield generators are, but they are, and I have to go fight. What's that? Anyway. I need to actually take out the shield generators. I just have to fight the weapons platforms. I take those out, and the station's technically, well, gives up and joins my side. Makes no sense why they would actually do that, but that's how it works. Shouldn't be one to complain. I'm assuming the massive pile of ships, all heavily armed and armored, sitting outside a now defenseless station, is definitely cause for them to surrender. So let's dock with this station. Starport. What exactly does this thing do again? Now, I've played this game for episodes and episodes, and before that I've even played the game before, and I've just now realized that there's actually a news ticker moving up above this. Research shows that the best day of the year is May 23rd. I would argue against that. Kill, fade, feed. This place has fallen. Slayer Concord celebrates victory. Okay, so if I go to the trade screen, I just sell off everything that I just picked up, including pirate currency. And go to the dry dock for repair and rearm. And this place has no shipyard, so I can't actually look to purchase new ships. So,
carry on, Captain. May we see each other soon.
Get a new update into the Gemapedia about stations, which is probably explains what this station does, its benefit to everywhere, and why we need to have it flagged for our forces. But to be fair, I don't really read the Gemapedia, so I have no idea what its purpose is. If I look at the map, it can tell me what bonus it gives me.
In fact, it gives me 5% plus 5% ore and gas yield from structures. So the the weekly passive resource upgrades that I get every in-game week or so, that increases by 5%. Just grab that. Why? Because I can. And well, since no one else seems to have a ship available,
Course
let's hit the
adjusted.
Concordia.
Engaging sublight.
I mean, the Nirax shipyard station, which I conquered God knows how long ago, also has the ability to build ships, although it didn't originally, I'm not quite certain why, but I can build ships here, and they do have a Halberd Mark I Dreadnought available. Now, I don't know if I can just buy it for my own personal use, or I can only build AI ships. I'll build this hull as an AI class ship, but I can always stop by and check. There's also the even harder to pronounce shipyard, which is somewhere around in here, which also has the Ragnarok Dreadnought available for usage, as is the Asgard carrier. And Skelling basically has the exact same thing. And then there's Concordia, which is where I'm heading, which I'm able to build the Astera class Dreadnought. I mean, assuming the other shipyards in question are in the extra areas that I picked up. So Skelling's over here. There's the Waterloo Battle Station. Oh, here it is. The one I can't pronounce. Zaxian. So these two are relatively close to each other, which would probably explain why they're capable of building the exact same types of ships. There's some enemy space up here that I've never bothered to look at. On plus side, they finished research on the upgraded carrier now. So I don't know if the ship's currently in my fleet. This is just my ship. And now of the Mark II variety, or any new ship that I make is of the Mark II variety. Yeah, these are all flagged as Mark I Borealises, so I'm assuming that they don't automatically upgrade magically. So if I want 5 Borealis Mark II carriers, I'm going to have to either decommission, scuttle, or in some way get these 5 ships killed, and then build 5 new ones, which is labor intensive, resource intensive. Well, maybe not labor intensive, all I have to do is click a button, but it's resource and time intensive, so I'm not going to do that. But if I do start losing ships, they're going to get replaced by newer, shinier, better models, I think. Anyway, because wars are won not so much by weapons, well, they are won by weapons, let's make no mistake about that, but because wars are, in addition to being won by weapons, having better weapons as well as more of them, let's continue researching things. So Severance is a railgun that I can research and then purchase. Let's get the Mark III variant of it, because now that I don't have to worry about building the Proxima, I have a ridiculously large supply of resources outside of coin that are just basically just sitting around and just stockpiling and stockpiling and stockpiling, and let's get more. I have no idea what that fleet is going to do because I did not stop and read it, but truth be told, I don't much care. Looks like that they're just retrieving lost cargo, so they'll probably find stuff. What was that? Somebody probably flew into a rock. Probably my ship, given the amount of noise that it made. Let's get this one. This one requires 4 to salvage a large derelict. So, since I only have, well, now 2 remaining.
requires 1. This requires 2. This requires 1, and I'm basically trading 3 ore for 1 material. Because I always seem to need more material than I do ore, outside of researching the Proxima. Let's go do that. For once, gas is actually the lowest resource I have access to. Well, stockpiled, I should say. Anyway, here we are at the Proxima. If we align ourselves with everywhere, this is what it looks like. Alright, and so now that we're here, let's actually stop. And let's dock. Because I don't actually remember the last time I was, well, home. Alright, so we have a few extra things. Let's just sell these off. And if we look at the shipyard, this is a carrier. This is, well, technically another dreadnought, but it costs 100 million in order to actually fly. And this is a carrier, which costs 110 million. But if we look at the what passes for a reasonably priced dreadnought, I'm looking at a tune of needing 65 million credits just to purchase, of which I have less than about 1/8 of that. So I definitely need a large quantity of credits, and I get a large quantity of credits usually by running an odd job, or, well, several dozen. So this is the job board. This is where I pick up odd jobs if I need credits and the like. There are a variety of different jobs available, doing a variety of different things, a variety of different payouts for a variety of different difficulties. And of course, and in theory, the more harder the job is, the greater the payout. So, like for instance, this delivery for just over 3/4 credits, 3/4 credits, I should say. It should technically be easier than this installation assault at 1.4 million. Now, the highest paying job, by the looks of it, is to hunt this War Master. It's got a recommended level of 36, but it's got the highest reward available. So I'm thinking that the recommended level is kind of off, and I should be expecting to fight somebody in one of the larger ships possible. But I'm fine with that. Because it is lower level, it's probably not going to be insanely difficult. But even if it is, I have a fleet at my back, and hopefully this guy does not. Alright, so I gain a weekly income of 65,000 credits and change.
HQ reports one of our fleets have
1,000
returned.
more times like that, and I should have enough just to buy the dreadnought that I desire. Alright, so in order to find the War Master, I have to scan this derelict. So let's scan the derelict. So after scanning the derelict, the first officer states, "We have arrived at the location of an abandoned derelict. The enemy veteran is in the vicinity, so we can plan something to lure him here. This derelict is an old scientific vessel with lots of useful technology parts. We can use for an ambush, but there are limited quantities, so we need to make a single decision. So I can send off a distress signal saying we're disabled after combat, but we will supercharge our weapons with electronic parts from the derelict to disable the weapons batteries as soon as we hit them." And then there's, that's option A. Option B is there's some explosive substances, so we can make mines and plant them around the derelict, activate the distress signal and lay an ambush. Option 3 is derelict is showing anomalous signs indicating engine malfunction effects. We will rig it to explode, creating an anomaly in the process, and then fake a distress call on the derelict while we wait nearby. Or option 4 is we can make a large EMP bomb in the derelict and send the distress signal from the derelict. So these are various options and ways of either benefiting us in this fight or hampering them in this fight. The anomaly is probably going to affect all people equally, so that's probably not the best option. I generally, if memory serves, usually just boost the weapons. And mines are only really useful if the enemy flies into them, and if they can see them and know that they're there, they can just fly around. And I think the EMP bomb just takes out their shields temporarily. So let's go with augmenting our weapons while disabling their weapon
Defense
batteries.
shield initiated.
And the veteran's incoming, and here he is. So he's in a dreadnought. So launch fighters. But because he's storyline based, I can't actually deploy troops onto his vessel. He has a special shield preventing it. And because we disabled his weapon batteries, in theory, he shouldn't be able to fight us, but Starpoint shield is now down to less than a quarter. So he's not the only one with special abilities, and let's goose the shields. What did I say, goose the shields? Oh, he has brought friends. Lots of friends, and they're breaking my ship. Cloak the vessel. Start repairs.
Down to 25%, Captain.
And he's also repaired his vessel.
Enemy down.
There goes one. Alright, I don't know if it was one of mine or one of theirs. I think somebody else died. Alright, cloaking's one off, so we go back to kill this cruiser. And all that's left is the dreadnought. We go back to wailing upon the War Master. And more friends show up. Okay. Now down to 1/3 health, and I've just lost shields on one side of my vessel. But the shield booster is now recharged, so... And he's dead!
Starboard shield down to 25%, Captain. Shield reactivation complete.
Task is complete. I gain... Actually, that's weekly income. I blow it up for extra stuff. Apparently I'm also making money just for breaking enemy vessels. There's that. Apparently I can't destroy that derelict. Oh, that's probably the derelict that was there for mission purposes. So if I look at the map, I now have 16.6 million.
One
And
of
we're
our
close
fleets
enough.
have finished their job. Engaging sublight.
And we're close enough to Concordia, we can just simply warp
Alignment
back
ship
and grab
to plane.
another job. And I did not lose anybody in the fleet. Okay then.
One of our fleets have finished their job.
Alright, so this is where the Proxima will eventually be. I don't think the Proxima auto-generates in-game until after I pick up a Dreadnought. I don't know if the shipyard looks differently, depending upon... I can dock with this thing? I'm probably close enough to Concordia, I just auto-dock there. As I was saying, I don't know if the Proxima shipyard is... It changes its look based off of how much research I've done. I kept checking that originally, but eventually I was called elsewhere. So, with that job out of the way, I gotta pick up another one. So... Looks like the highest paying job is this destruction mission, where I need to get rid of an area of intruders until suggests strong opposition. So it's recommended that I bring along friends. And I did not take the job.
Say our paths cross again.
Ah, it's over here now.
Affirmative.
Okay.
Engage sublight.
And here we go with a large pile of enemies. It's a derelict. That's a battleship. It's a carrier. Let's deploy the fighters.
Squadrons, you're good to go.
Let's hightail it back to my fleet.
Engaging
Cloak.
pilot.
So that way they can't see
All
us.
hands, fire at will.
I'll see you in heaven.
And let's open fire on our freightliner, because apparently part of the destruction job
Starboard shield is at half capacity.
requires us dying. Okay. Alright, so thankfully it auto-saved after I left Veneros, Concordia, but it didn't take the job, so well, it didn't save after accepting the job, so let's see what else is there. And not much of interest, truth be told. This paying job looks to be this 1.6 million one. Recommended level is lower than ours, and the payout is lower, so hopefully it won't be as crazy as the one that I just got taken out on. But let's go see. And it's over here now.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
Okay, so here we are at the enemy fleet. Deploy fighters once again.
Good to go.
And we fly away far enough so that way our allies can show up and actually participate. Apparently an anomaly generator here. Let's go blow that up.
Aft shield is at half capacity.
Sure it is. Boost the shields.
We're in quite a rough spot.
It's a carrier. Cloak the vessel.
Entering stealth mode.
Can I scan the anomaly while cloaked? I can. There that goes. So freightliner, because the war on shipping is ever important. Everybody pile on this carrier. I don't know why the game stopped making the sound effects for the special abilities. Periodically, they stop making the sound effects for the special abilities. And you're gone now.
By all that is right, avenge me.
Enemy down.
Even your carcass is gone. So all that's left is, I think, defensive platforms. That one's one's gone. That one's gone. Didn't even need the heavy weapons for that one. This is that one. So all that's left, just a destroyer? No, there's something else. From the gunship, that's an enemy cruiser.
Life support failing. Finally.
Looks like the cruiser may be dead. Not before the destroyer goes.
Thanks for all the ships.
Target eliminated.
I'll go out with a bang.
Alright, so is that everything? Call the fighters, I guess. So do we have to shoot the derelicts? I know this isn't the first time I've done this type of mission, but I forget exactly what else I had to do. I know much like now, there was something...
The credits have been transferred.
Okay, apparently I had to shoot that dreadnought. Well, that derelict. And I make 3.7 million. Okay then. Now there's one thing that I want to check out. Let's
Initiating
actually
T-drive sequence.
use the T drive real quick. Just because I don't feel like waiting. And let's head to
Realigning
this
course.
shipyard.
Engaging sublight.
Because I know it can build AI-controlled vessels and purchase dreadnoughts at Concordia. One thing that I'm not too certain of is, can I do that at an auxiliary
Launching
ship?
planar alignment now.
Did I recall the fighters? Yeah, I think I did. I remembered this time. Usually I don't. So anyway, let's just sell all. Rearmament, repair and rearm. And apparently no, I cannot. There is no shipyard here. So my options are to... Alright, I gotta stop reading that news board. So even though I can build an AI-controlled dreadnought here, I can't actually purchase one for my own usage. So if I just simply look back at the jobs board, can assault an installation for 3.9 million, do another destruction job for 4.9 million, assault an installation for 4.3. We're doing another destruction job for, well, about the same amount. This one is a few thousand credits more, so let's go do this one.
Good luck.
Engaging sublight.
And this task is over this way. On the plus side, I now have over 2 million credits, so I'm just shy of 1/3 of the way of getting the Dreadnought. Alright, let's not fly clean through the enemy formation.
All wings launch.
Boy
as soon
fighters,
as
once
ready.
again. Circle back, start moving. Circle back around while we wait for the fleet to pass us, so that way we're not on point. the next closest target is this destroyer. Oh, actually, closest target is this frigate. Followed by this destroyer. And now it's gone. That's a platform. It's a frigate. Say, I don't know if this frigate's part of this, but because it is, and they finished researching the upgraded railgun. Okay. Just curious if they've done that or not. And there's a pirate dreadnought right here. So probably not really all that important, but while I'm thinking of it, upgrade the plasma cannon, right? Yeah, upgrade the Apophis Tier 3, or at least research the Apophis Tier 3 plasma cannon. We go hunting this dreadnought. Deploy troops. So we're into the cargo bay. Let's cloak the vessel so that we don't get shot at. Through the engine room. Now we're burning through Marines far faster than I was at the on the battleship. So I'm not entirely certain I'm even going to have enough Marines to get to the bridge, let alone even take it. Yeah, I got 6 Marines left. I have a 0% chance of taking the bridge. It's either that or they run. So let's try to capture the bridge. And the troops have failed to capture the bridge. So that's what I mean why it's harder to take a ship larger than yours. With regards to boarding actions, generally it's quantity over quality, although there are a few things you can research and upgrade and get that improve their chances of longevity. I don't have all of them just yet, so I can't basically take an entire dreadnought with 5 guys. Yes, I know there are 6. I'm saying 5 as an example that they're so badass they only need 5 people to take an entire ship. That's not the case. Just break that and take it with me.
I almost didn't see your meager ship.
Sure you didn't. You are now dead and your stuff is now my stuff. Oh, a battleship. That I accidentally fly into. Alright, since all the guns seem to be ventrally and laterally based, let's flip around so that we can basically gut this thing. And on to the next one.
I can do this all day.
Alright, let's boost the shields. And this cruiser's now dead. And there's now this dreadnought, which I could try boarding. Believe it or not, my troops are actually ready. Usually they don't, they take longer to pull down. Even then, they're not as effective. You guys do multiple battles. But as you can see, I'm shedding more troops than I was the last time. Or the same amount. No, I think it's actually more. The medbay was in the exact same spot as it was the last time, and I walked in with like 10 people. But I also managed to gain more people than I did the last time. I see it, thank you. I end up with 11 people. So there's a 2% chance of taking this dreadnought, which is also filled. Okay then. Everybody pile on this thing. Cloak the vessel. Since the large shield booster hasn't cooled down yet, I have to let the shield recharge manually, which is why I like the cloaking device.
All weapons fire at will.
Now, even though my uncloaked fighters appear to be just simply following us, target the dreadnought, and there we go. Use the special abilities. As I somehow managed to fly through them.
What's your problem, Kurt?
Oh look, the shield booster's now off cooldown. So let's use that to boost the shields. So a big question, is this the only thing left? I don't think so. Looks like there's still a few more. Battle's taking so long, even the background music has stopped. It's now down to about a third of its health.
Assistance required. We can't take this any longer.
Alright, either they're upside down or we are. I don't actually know anymore. Space is three-dimensional. Even if most games don't make it look that way. The big vessel. Thank you.
This is no true end.
I'm sure you think it's not.
We destroyed an enemy target.
Yes, we did. Now we destroy another one. Keep on destroying enemy targets until we run out of targets, or they take us out. Now with vessels this big and this quantity, I wonder how many of my vessels I've lost. I am still seeing the three icons for the War Masters, so at least my close friends are still alive.
Enemy down.
And this carrier is now dead. And that's now gone.
Hostile target eliminated.
Kurt, you will not win this fight.
I think we kind of already have. I think all that's left are the platforms. Alright, where am I? Over here. And I still have all my ships in my fleet intact. Okay then. Still out of range. But you know, there's still this destroyer. My mistake. There was this destroyer. It's now gone. More freight liners. It's a cruiser. I say freight liners. I think it's only the one freight liner. The war on shipping continues. It now goes away. I should probably focus on the gun platform that's actually shooting.
Front shield is at 50%.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you. Boost the shields.
Port shield is at half capacity.
Fire off the heavy guns. One thing I don't like about the platforms is that the follow, target, kill camera doesn't work on them like it does the ships. I can't center the camera on this thing and just have my vessel fly around it.
Starboard shield is at half capacity.
Oh, it's a little bit less than half capacity. Quite a bit less than half capacity. We broke something. So as usual, it just basically dive in and out of range because the platforms don't really move. Alright, you know what? I should actually stay by my fleet.
25% captain. Port shield at 25% captain.
All these vessels just wailing on the thing. Oh, it's a shield generator. I don't know why it's taking forever. It has a shield. At least now there's multiple things targeting it instead of just me. That goes away.
Port shield at 25% captain.
Boost the shields again. Swing around giving it a shield that hasn't collapsed yet.
Shield reactivation complete.
We're getting dangerously big now.
Did I lose somebody? I feel like I just lost somebody. Fortunately, I'm in the middle of combat and can't really check all that easily. I mean, I can check. It's just stupid to do so. Because I'm trying to not get taken out, and if I stop to look at something else, I'm not paying attention to not getting taken out. So that's now gone. That platform, I believe, is now dead. Cloak the vessel.
Cloaking
Set
system
cloak the vessel.
initiated.
Port shield's down to 4%. So everybody seems to be above us. So I'm just going to cloak and fly around while I wait for things to recharge. Another platform is dead. Shield booster has recharged, so let's use that to further increase the shields. Fill the cargo, and I pick up more pirate currency. And we go back to fighting. This time, there's fewer of them, and shields are at a higher level. So we should do better. We haven't gotten taken out yet like we did the last time, so... Is this everything? I'm not hearing explosions anymore, so... I'm guessing maybe? So for some reason I apparently also have to shoot these derelicts. That's a random security vessel. Why I have to blow up things that were already blown up, I have no idea, but if it nets me more coin, I shouldn't complain. My problem is because they're not hostile, the game won't target them directly, so...
I have to point at them and shoot. I gotta remember, my range is about 3,200 measurement units. I'm quite certain if they go in meters, yards, feet, miles, what have you. I just can only, my weapons only fire up to 3,200 of them. That's now dead. This is now dead. I think this is the last one I technically need, because this is the last thing that started as a derelict.
Mission status completed.
Okay. Tara Higgs goes up a level, that's always nice. As does Leonard Maxton. And we net 14.9 million credits on a job that was, I think, a third of that? Oh, and the Apophis Grade 3 has now finished research. Goody. Of course, I need more gas to research the heavy weapons. Or I can just focus on propulsion enhancements and other enhancements that aren't weapons. Because why not? Pick one almost at random. Alright, so I now have 36.8 million. I'm about halfway where I need.
Affirmative. Engage sublight. Jump sequence countdown initiated.
Yeah, and no one's been taken out. And Maxton are still in dreadnoughts. I don't know if they actually upgrade to carriers
Adjusting
or
ship
not.
rotation.
Or dreadnoughts the heaviest ship that they actually gain access to. Somebody named this carrier the Scarab. And they finished the grapple upgrade, but because it's Mark 1, that makes sense. Because relatively cheap and easy to build and research and operate to moderate cost, but still somewhat cheap and easy to get and use. To, dear God, I've seen ships cheaper than that. I'm talking about the upgrades. So, like, for instance, I need 65 million to get a new dreadnought, which, yeah, 65 million for the new dreadnought, of which I have 37.2 million. So, just shy of 30 million more, and I should be good. So another couple of those destruction missions, assuming we can survive another couple of those destruction missions, and we should be good. Then, of course, I need 70 million to get a carrier. Or I can just basically skip the dreadnought, get an extra 5 million, get the carrier, but then I won't know where the dreadnought chapter of the story ends and the carrier chapter of the story begins. So we go with the dreadnought because I'm curious and I want to know where the story chapters begin and end. Because I'm crazy like that. But if we go to the dry dock and look at loadouts, this is just the weapons in my ship. I just was like, why do all these weapons look weird? I got like a whole pile of weapons I'm not actually using. Can I sell these?
if I look at the Dreadnought, the Malchior is a beam weapon. At 5.5 million, I can get the grade 3, and if you've noticed, it's like a 2.3 million jump from the tier 2 to the tier 3. Same with the Severance as well as the Apophis. And I don't have enough gas to research the heavier weapons, so I'm still stuck with the Wacrium, Harbinger, and... Actually, that's the Hammer missile. Interesting. I never bothered with the Centennial and the Harbingers. Of course, they're also 7 million apiece, and when I need to buy 4 of them, that's 28 million. So it's 28 million just to get 4 heavy weapons. There's 5.5 million to get 4 light weapons. So that's 22 million. So that's 50 million just to outfit all the weapons on my ship, not counting the ship itself. So in order to get the grade 3 of every weapon, well, the grade 2 of the heavy weapons and the grade 3 of the light weapons, plus the new Dreadnought, I'm looking at 115 million, I think, give or take. Yeah, the guns on the ship are almost as expensive as the ship itself. But anyway, I still need coin to actually do anything, so job board again. And it looks like the highest paying job is this one at 4.9. It's another destruction mission. Something tells me the destruction missions are always going to be the most expensive, the ones that pay out the most. But it's lower level than my current level, so the game thinks I should be able to deal with it, but I'm assuming it assumes I probably have a better ship than I currently have. And can we not fly through Concordia to get to the job? I ask as we bounce off Concordia. Twice. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So we fly through 6 times, and we fly through whatever that connecting piece is. And probably what the... Oh, now you fly around something that isn't actually there. Alright, anyway.
Affirmative. Entering stealth mode.
Alright, so as usual, I'm not paying attention, and I almost fly into the enemy formation, all by my lonesome. And my fleet is now here, and I'm in the presence of an anomaly. I would say that's the anomaly right there, but no, I think that's one of Gemini's 2 sons.
All batteries fire at will.
Boy fighters. As everybody instantly targets us. So let's cloak again. And boost the shields.
Target neutralized.
Apparently go to war against even more shipping again. What are you? Oh, you're a cruiser. I'll fight the cruiser.
Today I enter history.
I'm sure you think you do. I say let's fight the cruiser, and what do? They open fire on the Freightliner. To be fair, the Freightliner is probably within weapons range, and the cruiser is not.
We destroyed an enemy target.
Apparently I need to blow up the Freightliner anyway, so kind of a moot point. But you're now dead. Then we go after this Oppenheimer-class battleship. Yes, Yes, I know there's a dreadnought right nearby. Let's cloak again because I think the shields are out. Yeah, red usually means out. It's 10 and I cannot see 1%, so the aft shield went out. Plus side, shield can be boosted again. And that battleship is now dead.
Hostile target eliminated.
So now we have this Dreadnought class vessel. Let us board. Let us cloak, so that way we're not shot out of the sky on the way to attempting to board this vessel.
Destroy the Burra, now.
You picked on the wrong guy.
So everybody keeps telling me. Alright, once again we have 11 people left. And once again it's 2% chance to take the bridge. And once again they failed to capture the vessel, so... back to killing it we go. Sees all the other good toys in our fun level weapons pile. Now I could technically disable the chunks on the Dreadnought, but that requires a whole lot of people. If you're paying attention, no. Well, depends if you're on the Dreadnought or not. That I'm shooting anyway. But as I was saying, if you look at the little capture screen in the lower area, I could technically pillage the weapons room instead of moving onto the bridge, but that's a percentage, so that tells me that I don't have enough Marines to actually complete that task.
I enter history.
They bounce off one of my own vessels.
One of our fleets have finished their job.
So is that all the enemy vessels? That looks like all the enemy vessels. This is a big derelict. I'm going to shoot that once it gets within range. A whole lot of random extra derelicts too. These gun platforms have quite a bit of range on them. You're another big derelict. You don't look like a Borealis, so I don't think you're one of mine. Alright, so everybody pile in.
HQ reports one of our fleets have returned.
Or I could just have the fighters just attack it while I stand off at a far distance. Well, it doesn't look like they're actually doing anything, so... let's get moving. We open fire. While trying not to completely lose all of our shields and then the hull. Because most of our weapons seem to be dorsal mounted, we try to keep this thing above us to a certain extent. And that gun platform is now dead. Boost the shields again, as I burn through yet even more of those shield boosters. And this platform dies, so we move on to another one, which seems to be in the middle of the entire platform nest. Okay. Saying I should back into the enemy while keeping them on the left side. Got it. Oh, yeah, that one's now dead. Let's focus on this one. Okay, cool. And I got more time than I probably have to wait for the shield booster to recharge, but that platform's now gone, so next one. What, 5 more? And yet it's one of my strongest shield faces. As I put my strongest shield faces towards the enemy. That makes perfect sense. To be fair, I'm trying to turn around to keep the thing within range, because while the platform doesn't move, I certainly do, and the shield boost is now charged, so let's boost the shields yet again. Let's get out of range so that way the shields have a chance to recharge. They're all now at 50% or higher. Alright, so now that they're about lower shields, almost 3/4 full, I would go back to fighting. So that platform's gone. Pass between my two friends. Take this platform. Probably should have gone for the other one because that one was closer. Actually, no, this is actually a weapons platform. Let's say this one's not firing, so I wonder if it's a shield generator. Use the special abilities on it, and as well as the big guns. By big guns, I mean missiles and plasma torpedoes and whatever the shockwave weapons technically are. Large balls of enemy. Oh no. Large balls of energy shot at the enemy target. That one's now dead. So I got what looks like 3 more platforms left as I bounce into one of my allied vessels. And that one's now gone. So all that's left is this platform by the looks of it. No, there's actually 3 other platforms. Now 2 platforms. Thing is, this one's now up. This one's actually still at 4%, and the shield generator managed to survive until second to last. Apparently. Of course, it's not shooting at us, so I generally do not pay attention to it. Although, I wonder if this shield generator is actually keeping the platforms alive. It's rather than producing the single directional shields you see when protecting a station. These are somehow boosting defensive capabilities for everything around us. I wonder if it's actually a priority to take out the shield generators as opposed to the platforms in these types of jobs. Then again, I don't usually pay attention to what's going on around me to that degree. But anyway, all that's left is the shield generator and apparently a bunch of derelicts, which are considered part of the job. Reasons not fully shared with me, but they are, so I gotta take them out. Or leave and just collect not as high of a bonus, but if it's not shooting at me, there's no real point on running. If that makes any possible sense. Right, anyway, derelicts.
fires aren't going to do anything, so let's just recall them. We start shooting the derelicts. If I can aim correctly. I mean, technically, I'm fairly certain I still have plenty of scrapping torpedoes from a long time ago where I took jobs to actually scrap derelicts, and I could probably get more stuff using those than just simply outright shooting the derelicts, but that requires resetting my equipment, and I don't feel like doing that, so just straight up shoot the derelicts. This one's actually out of range. Okay then. Oops. Apparently I'm hitting my friendly vessel. So are you... I would say that derelict, I think, was actually inside the shield range of my friendly vessel. Much like this one. I think that one was just on the other side of the Borealis. There we go. And we go up to level 42 and complete the mission for 15 million credits. Again, 1 skill point and 1 perk point. So, and weekly income has arrived. So I'm now at 5.3 million, which if I'm just getting the Dreadnought, I need 12 million more to get. So that should be doable if I find another destruction mission like what I've been facing. The fleet is, I would say, still fully intact, but Leonard Maxton isn't here, so I'm guessing he got taken out, which is annoying. But on the plus side, it's cheaper to replace his vessel than it is one of the Borealises. Actually, no, Nika got taken out. That's weird. Could have sworn I saw her name and not Maxton's. Oh no, Maxton's right there. I guess I misread anything. Anyway, so Nika got taken out again. So I just have to pay to replace her vessel. But after that, it's just basically head back to Concordia for... Well, now I need 14.5 million credits to get enough to buy the Dreadnought. But that should be easy to do, especially, do you mind? Especially, as I said, if I can get another job that pays about as well as of what I've been doing. If not, hopefully too. But that's all going to be another issue for another day, because I'm going to call it here. Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.